What's going on, Gemini? This is Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct. This is going to be your reading for the full moon in Sagittarius. That is going to be happening on June, I believe it's the 17th. So yeah, let's see what these energies are going to be out for you guys. I decided to do a bonus reading this month for this full moon. So it must be a big one, right? Now this is going to be a general reading. It may not resonate with everyone, but if it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things to help the channel out in some type of way, and it lets me know that the reading helped you. Now, for the people that this does not resonate with, you can check out your rising or moon sign or one of the previous readings that we did for Gemini earlier this month, all right? We're going to be starting off with your present energy right here like we always do it. And then after that, we will hop into some of your more futuristic energy over here. Now, if you guys don't already follow me on IG, you should. And that is at chrisanthony14lbs, Chris Anthony 14 pounds. That'll also be in the description. And if you guys want to get a personal reading from me, then the email will be in the description also if you want a more personal experience. Let's see what's going on, Gemini. Hopping into your reading, crowning your reading up top, we have the Hermit card. So the Hermit here could be representing where you guys are at the moment, but with the clarifier being the Chariot, and these are two major arcana cards. I kind of feel like for some of you Geminis, you're about to be moving forward into a certain direction, or things are about to start moving forward very quickly for you. And at this time, before the movement happens, before it gets crazy, before the action happens, it's kind of like you're studying, right? You're trying to make sure that you have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted, right? You're trying to make sure you have everything lined up, all of your ducks in a row. And I feel like in order for you to move forward, you're going to have to use some of your inner wisdom, which is why some of you guys could be kind of going into hermit mode right now. And if you're not in hermit mode, then you could be in a place where you're using the wisdom, the internal wisdom that you have, right? That you had maybe from a past place where you were in hermit mode and you were studying yourself and getting to know who it is that you are and what it is that you're supposed to be doing, right? So I feel like to move forward, you guys are going to have to use some of the internal wisdom to kind of like light the path, the way that the Hermit is holding up that light, right? And he has the staff. He's kind of using the amount of knowledge that he has to move forward and along his path, right? So there is going to be movement coming in with this Chariot card. But I think that the movement is due to the amount of experience you have, or due to the amount of knowledge that you have within yourself, right? The inner wisdom, right, that you're going to need for this new journey or this new direction that you're headed in. Well, the Chariot card here, it talks about quick movement. It talks about efficient movement. It talks about maybe moving like physically from one location to another location, or just driving forward to your success, right? Driving forward to your goals, moving forward in a more balanced way. Now with the Sagittarius moon, full moon coming in, Sagittarius is a lot of times talking about balance, right? The balance of your higher and lower nature. And then the Chariot card is talking about that balance also. This is why I feel like some of you guys could be in hermit mode at this moment, because you're looking for a level of internal balance, right? To move forward with, internal knowledge to move forward with. You know that you have to make this pit stop, right? Energetically, it feels like you're making a pit stop to kind of refuel, rejuvenate, restore some of the knowledge, kind of tap back into who it is that you are. Because the next phase that you're moving into is going to need to be balanced, right? You're going to have to be in a position of being balanced emotionally, right? Being balanced physically and mentally. So before you can make this move forward, you know, whether it's physically or whether it's symbolically, energetically, you're having to kind of take a second or a pause to regroup a little bit, to go inside, right? Some of you guys may be cutting off some of the social media for a second maybe not connecting as much with friends and family and socializing as much, because you're kind of aware of this move that you're trying to make, and you need all of the energy, to move forward, that you would waste on, let's say, socializing or being around people that kind of don't, uplift you in a certain type of way. So yeah, that's one scenario that I'm feeling for some Geminis, right? Now, on another scenario, I am feeling that some of you guys could be stuck between, a decision, or stuck between the decision of being in hermit mode, probably like being to yourself, being away from the world, being in your own space, and kind of like enjoying your own company. And the other option would be being out and about and on the move and connecting with people and socializing and, networking. So another group of Geminis could be kind of between two different energies, right? One is the hermit mode, which is stationary, stable, kind of like away from everybody else. No movement is happening. It's a pause. And then we have the chariot, which represents movement, moving forward, action, right? Putting everything into action, everything into movement. So you could kind of have like a back and forth energy coming into the end of June, whether you want to stay home. Maybe some days you're wanting to stay in and stay away from everybody else and kind of just rejuvenate, enjoy your own company. And then other days you could feel like, oh, I want to be out and about. I want to be connecting with people. So it's kind of like a back and forth thing that's happening with you, Gemini. It's kind of like a dual nature that's happening towards the end of June, where some days you're internal, next days you're external. Some days you're introverted, next day you're extroverted, right? And then if you're kind of like bringing both of those energies into balance, then you're integrating both of them and like operating in both energies, extroverted and introverted. But yeah, let's keep it moving and see what's happening. So then we have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles energy here, talking about you being left out in the cold in a certain type of way, right? Or feeling like you were left out in the cold. Now, this could be due to the fact that maybe you're already in hermit mode and you feel like you're kind of left out in the cold because you're not really connecting with a lot of people, right? And you don't have a lot of people coming in to connect with you because your energy is more hermetic, right? You're kind of studying yourself. You're needing that space to kind of grow and upgrade a little bit. So you could be feeling like it's not a lot of people reaching out. You could be feeling lonely, possibly. But this is, I feel like, the past energy for some of you guys that are coming out of hermit mode and getting into action. Because, excuse me, we have the Five of Pentacles here. And then it's clarified by the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is very action-oriented. She's very passionate. She's the social butterfly of the tarot. So anytime you're coming in and bringing on that Queen of Wands energy, you're moving from out of the hermit mode and getting into a place where you're wanting to network, you're wanting to collaborate, you're wanting to connect with other people, rubbing shoulders with the right people, right? Bringing your plans together by actually making contact with the key players that will help you, to your success or help you carry out your goals. That's what the Queen of Wands is about. She also is about attracting people and things into her energy field, right? This is a very magnetic type of energy that you're taking on. So you could be coming out of that, feeling left out in the cold energy, and now switching over for the second half of the month, or maybe for the whole month of June, into a more attractive, magnetic, confident type of fiery, passionate energy where you're just wanting to be on the move. And this is what's happening from the hermit mode into the chariot movement, right? From the Five of Pentacles being kind of like out in the cold, not connecting with people, into the Queen of Wands, the number one connector and collaborator and socializer, right? So for a lot of you guys, I feel like it's a switch happening. The first half of the month could have been like, okay, I'm just in chill mode. I'm resting. I'm allowing my energy to be just to myself a little bit. Even if it could have just been energetically, like let's say some of you guys could have been out and about and kind of enjoying yourself being on a move, but still feeling like you were kind of in your own energy and not letting your energy connect with other people, and or still feeling like you were lonely and not connected. You know how they say you can be in a room full of people but still feel alone? This is probably what's been happening. But now it's kind of like you're coming out of that hermetic mode. You're coming into this more social networking type of energy, right? Let's move over here. We have the Seven of Wands clarified by the Empress card. So Seven of Wands talks about being on the defense a little bit, right? So you could have been defensive to maybe some change, maybe defensive about this new movement that you have to go towards. The Chariot card is major arcana, so it's usually representing a big move that's happening. Moving from one city to another city, one state to another, moving out of the country, moving jobs, career paths, moving from, being single into a place of being in a relationship, or moving out of a relationship into singleness, right? This is talking about major movement. So it could have been a side of you that was kind of defensive about this new move that's happening, even though it is inevitable, right? You could have just been on guard or on defense only because of maybe some things that happened in the past. The Seven of Wands is kind of like that warrior mode, very close to the Nine of Wands energy, where you're kind of like, don't mess with me, don't get near me, I've been through a lot, I'm not trying to go through more BS at the end of the day, right? So you're kind of guarded a little bit, because especially if you're coming out of hermit mode, you could still have your guards up, because to be in hermit mode, you have to really be in a place of guardedness and defensive to kind of like keep yourself away from other people's energy so you can get what you need, your own inner wisdom. So I feel like you're still kind of like that on the second half of June. But you are taking on Empress energy. So on all these cards, I'm seeing a duality, the theme of dual natures, because on one end, you're closed off, but on the one end, you're open. On one end, you're defensive, and then on the other end, you're abundant and attractive. The Empress is the nurturer, right? So one end, you're kind of like defensive and guarded, but then on the other end, you're open and nurturing and maybe giving loving vibes to everyone around you and looking very magnetic and attractive, just like the Queen of Wands is. So this is that dual nature that we do find in Gemini. But with you taking on the Empress energy, you could be coming out of defensiveness and shifting into a place where, like I said, you're fertile at this time, you're creative, you're artistic, you're spiritual, you're nurturing, right? This is what the Empress represents. Very abundant energy. Major arcana once again too. So it's kind of like an overlapping energy that's here for you to participate in if you want. If you, don't stay defensive to it. You can make major connections this second half of June, coming in with this new cycle of the full moon in Sagittarius is what I'm feeling. Because the Queen of Wands, collaborator, networker, and then the Empress card, very magnetic and attractive and very fertile. So whatever you plant during this time, whatever you have intentions to do, it can definitely manifest quickly for you. Gemini, let's keep it moving. Then right after that, we have the Six of Cups energy clarified by the Three of Swords. Now, Six of Cups, we all know, usually is talking about a soulmate connection. Somebody that you have a strong connection to that feels like a past life lover, or just somebody you have a strong history with. One second. All right, so with this soulmate lover, this strong connection you have, there is some hurt that's surrounding this with the Three of Swords, talking about pain, hurt, betrayal, something that scars you, right? Some type of trauma that's happened within your heart chakra. So you could be dealing with some heartbreak from a soulmate lover, and it could be from someone in the past. You could be thinking about some of the older pain that you felt, or that happened in the past when you were in this connection with this old soulmate. And it could be feeling maybe fresh to you right now because you're reminiscing or thinking about it or even healing from it. So some of you guys could be feeling triggered around this time where some of that pain is coming up to the surface just so it can be healed, just so kind of like you can release it from out of your body, right? A lot of our memories are held within our body and not within our mind. So it's all about the way we feel about certain things whenever we think about it. And then if a feeling accompanies it or an emotion accompanies it, a lot of times that means that we haven't all the way healed from it. If it's still causing you pain, but it's something that happened years ago or months ago, then you're having that opportunity for it to come up to the surface to heal, right? Whenever we're feeling through something, then we're actually healing it. So I feel like this is kind of like a past thing, though. Like you're thinking about a past lover and how it was a lot of heartbreak that surrounded that. If this is something fresh coming in, then it could be a soulmate that's kind of coming your way that you feel like you have a strong connection to, but you could be afraid to be heartbroken, which is kind of making you defensive, right? Especially if you have somebody coming in and you've already been in a place where you were kind of like in hermit mode, where you were kind of like feeling disconnected from a lot of people and separating from, let's say, the dating scene or being active on the dating scene. Then if you have a new, love that's coming your way, you could definitely be afraid of being hurt or be afraid of kind of like feeling the same feelings that happened in the past, when we open up that whole thing. So some of you guys are kind of afraid to open up to someone new that could be coming in. So it's two different scenarios. And then another set of you guys are kind of like healing from some of the old past hurts that happened with the old lover. Still remembering it. It's still fresh on your mind. But you're healing from it. Whenever I'm seeing the Six of Cups paired with the Three of Swords, you're definitely healing some old emotional pain. All right, so then I see this Nine of Cups clarified with Four of Cups. So Nine of Cups talks about wish fulfillment coming in, emotional fulfillment, right? Something that you wished would come true, something that you've been trying to manifest is actually here for you, but you're guarded. So a lot of this energy here is talking about you being guarded a little bit. Gemini, you're kind of like on the fence about it. With the Four of Cups, this talks about somebody who was offered something, but they don't know for sure if they're even interested in, the cup that's being offered. But with the Nine of Cups here, it is definitely something that you want. I just feel like you're definitely guarded because this person has their hand across their heart, right? Showing that you are guarded and you're just afraid to be hurt, even though this is something that you've been wishing that you could have for a while. You're definitely just kind of like, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I want to deal with this type of heartbreak and pain again. I don't know if I want to go through the whole process of getting to know somebody again, going out on dates, and then just for it not to work out. So this is kind of like the energy that's behind this Nine of Cups energy. But something you do desire or someone you desire is coming your way. There's definitely a strong soulmate energy that's here for you with the Six of Cups. But you have to be the one to decide if you're going to kind of let your guards down or not. So this reading is talking about almost like a decision, whether you want to kind of be alone, be in hermit mode, whether you still need some time to heal, or if you want to move forward into the next phase of life, if you want to move forward into some newer experiences and take on some new people, right? Or meet someone new. You just have to kind of let your guards down a little bit. So I think that's what's happening with you. There could be a love offer that's coming in that kind of fits the bill of what you kind of always wanted when it comes down to love, or when it comes down to a relationship or life partner, but you're kind of afraid. I'm hearing like that Dracula song, that Andre 3000 song, Dracula's Wedding, where he's talking about like, you're all I ever wanted, but I'm terrified of you. That's kind of like what I'm feeling with this. Like, you've been waiting for it for a while, but when you finally get it, you're like, I don't know if I want it. So it's kind of like a level of fear that's here, because you're definitely afraid to be heartbreaking. You're afraid for it to not go the way that you want it to go, which makes sense. I think we all fear that. But let's see what's happening in your future energy, see if we'll get some more clarity. So, future energy, we have the Four of Wands, we have the Temperance card, we have the Moon card, and then the High Priestess. So, starting off with the Four of Wands, now we do know Four of Wands is talking about a connection between two people, a stable connection, a match made in heaven. This talks about that reciprocal connection where it's equal giving, equal receiving, two people that kind of mirror each other, that just fit, right? You just click. So you could be clicking with somebody that is an air sign. I'm seeing fire sign here, and possibly a water sign. But, signs are signs. You don't have to get stuck in the signs. That's just kind of what I see in the reading. But yeah, so some of you guys could feel like you have this new connection coming in, this soulmate connection with someone that, is taking on air qualities. This is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords represents, communication a lot of times. Somebody who is very good at communicating, very logical person, very grounded, and they could be appealing to your mind, right? The realm of mental. They could be connecting with you mentally, which I think would work for you guys, for Geminis, right? I think Gemini is a very mental sign. But yeah, this is coming in, and it's kind of like a stable connection. Somebody making an offer, somebody kind of like hinting to you some way. Now, with the Page of Swords, a lot of times this can talk about communication that's made in a roundabout type of way, like somebody that kind of is beating around the bush a little bit, or just hinting towards you doing something that's kind of small. Like, let's say, for instance, if you're on IG and somebody just like starts liking your pictures and kind of like, or commenting on your post, they're not like going straight to sending you a DM, but they're just kind of like, I'll like their picture, I'll watch their story, I'll do something small like that just to get their attention. So this is probably how this new person could be moving, just kind of like trying it out a little bit to see how you'll react. But I think quickly you are going to realize that there is some type of connection you have with this person, because we have the Temperance card here, and then it's clarified by the Two of Cups. Now, the Temperance, the angel that's in this card is holding the two of Cups in his hand, right? And so this is talking about a very balanced connection that's here. This is also the Sagittarius energy, so this is definitely around the Sagittarius full moon that this new person could be coming in, or you could be being contacted. But this is definitely a very stable, grounded, fulfilling connection. With the Two of Cups here clarifying it, talking about that soulmate connection, a very magnetic, attractive, loving energy. Like, I'm feeling some deep love that's here, and it could be from a past life, but it's a new person. Definitely feeling newness. I'm not really feeling any old energy of somebody coming back from the past and they finally realize, and blah blah blah. You know how those readings go, right? I'm feeling freshness for some reason. And with the Temperance card here, it's kind of like this person wants to give into you as much as you want to give into them. This is the equal give and take. Very balanced here. I think you guys will definitely balance each other out. you know. But you could be bringing two different qualities to the table, right? Like one person may be more deeper into their emotional world, and then the other person may be more on the mental level. Or one person may be more grounded and financially stable, while the other person is more kind of like creative and spiritual and not so much into the material world. But it kind of comes together and it works. Right? So, yeah. Somebody's coming for you, Gemini. Or you're coming for somebody. Then we have the moon card clarified by the hangman. So this here is kind of like that same energy I've been feeling the whole reading. Like you don't know everything that there is maybe about this new connection that's coming in. So it is making you be in a place where you're kind of like at a stalemate, where you're hung, where you're stuck, where you're trying to figure it out and not necessarily moving forward. So that's kind of like the theme here. It's kind of like, should I or should I not? You know, you see how the angel has like 1 foot in the water and 1 foot out. That's kind of like where you're at with that Sagittarius energy. Like, I like this connection. I like this new direction. I like this new energy that's coming in. Like, I want to kind of like feel it, but I don't know about it all the way. I don't know if I want to jump all the way into the water, because maybe you don't have all the details about it, right? Because it's brand new. So there is a certain level of you that's kind of going to slow things down, or kind of like almost stuck a little bit with that hangman energy. You're wanting to look at everything from a different perspective, and you kind of want to do your research before you move forward. This is what I was talking about with the Hermit card. You want to research before you just move forward, full speed ahead. And so a lot of major arcana you guys have here, Gemini. The moon card, you have the hangman, you have the temperance card, you have the hermit card, you have the chariot card. What else is major arcana here? The empress. And then on top of that, we have down here your last set of cards, the high priestess, another major arcana. So yeah, there are things working behind the scenes. There is energy at play. It's what I always like to say. If you have this much major arcana, that means the universe has a hand in what's happening around you and in your life, what you're attracting, into your world. So manifestation is going on here, but you're definitely going to need to tap into your intuition. I think this is going to bring you out of the place where you're kind of like hung about stuff, or stuck in your head, or not wanting to move forward, or very guarded and defensive. I think you're only in a place like that where you're guarded and defensive when you're not tapping into your intuitive abilities, right? If you're overthinking it and overanalyzing it, then you will kind of be in a place where you're stuck and not knowing if you need to move forward or stay still. That's that hangman energy. That's that moon energy where you just don't know because it doesn't make sense logically. But when you choose to tap into your intuition and you tap into that inner knowing, which is why the hermit card was here also, you're going to have to tap into your inner wisdom. When you do that, then I think you're going to be just fine, Gemini, because the high priestess energy knows what's going on. Like, the book that's in her hand represents knowledge and information. Like, she's tapped in. This is no fool here, the high priestess. So if you're taking on that energy, you start to see, right? Kind of like with your third eye, you start to discern what's happening. What is this that's coming my way? Who is this person? Is this the right direction? But I do feel like once you tap into your intuition, you're going to want to kind of like move forward with this new person or with this new thing. For a lot of people, I do feel like it's some type of connection, because we have the Eight of Pentacles here, which does talk about focusing on some type of work, something that you want to build. But when it comes down to your reading, I feel like this is something you want to build with someone else, because all these cards here are talking about a reciprocal connection, an equal give and take, a balanced, stable connection with someone else coming in. And after you kind of like fight with it and figure it out and wonder about it and you're stuck for a second, you finally tap into your intuition. And I think the decision is going to be made that, okay, I want to build something. I want to at least try to see how far we can get in this connection, because it is a soulmate connection. But I do feel like it's one of those soulmate connections that's here for your enjoyment and not so much to kind of like teach you a lesson and clear karma. I think you're, kind of done with that whole energy, Gemini. I feel like this is one of the soulmate connections that could have longevity, that could lead, to a family, a marriage. But even more than that is one of the connections that is just here kind of like for you to relish in it and enjoy it and just love, being in love with the idea of love, not foolishly, but just enjoying love, enjoying partnership and companionship with someone. So if you can, kind of let your guards down a little bit, then I think you're going to be able to enjoy this soulmate connection. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that for you guys, Gemini. Hopefully that resonated with you. If it does resonate, like I always say, like, share, subscribe, comment. And I will be back with another reading on next month, most likely. Later.